So my name is Fabio Rosa. I'm a co-founder and head of research at Asgard, which is a spin-off from Lund University in the south of Sweden. At Asgard, I'm heading our research and development team, where we are focusing our efforts to translate a novel type of cancer therapy that aims at revolutionizing the way solid tumors are currently treated. The therapy currently is called AT108, and it, in a very simplified way, converts cancer cells, which are the bad guys, into a very specific type of immune cell from our blood that we call type 1 dendritic cells, which we can call them the good guys. And our technology basically allows this conversion of the bad guys into the good guys and makes the cancer cells induce an immune response against themselves, making it a therapy that is, on one side, personalized, but at the other side, it is also off the shelf, which means that the same therapy, the same medicine can be administered to different patients and different types of solid tumors. So the company was co-founded in 2018 by three scientific co-founders, so myself, Cristiana Pires, which is the current CEO, and Filipe Pereira, which is professor at Lund University, from where the company spinned out. So since 2018, we have been mainly focused on the preclinical development of this lead program that I just explained. We call them AT108. So in 2018, the first publication describing the core recipe of our treatment was published in Science Immunology, and that really attracted us attention from different VCs, and we decided then to create the company in 2018. Since then, we have raised over 2 million euros in non-dilutive funding, so in grants, trying to take advantage of the European funding as much as we can. And in parallel, in 2021, we closed a seed round of investment, 6 million euros, co-led by three investors, so Industrifondem in Sweden, Novo Holdings in Denmark, and Boehringer Ingelheim in Germany. Now, this year, very recently, we closed our Series A round of funding, which was 30 million euros, co-led by Johnson & Johnson Innovation and RV Invest, together with the remaining investors, with the ultimate goal and to take us to the value inflection point, which is to bring the therapy into the clinic, predicted to happen in the first quartile of 2027, which means that currently we're a preclinical stage company, actively working on the development of this lead program. No, I mean, of course, we closed the Series A round of funding in the beginning of this year, and this will allow us to be, at least to take the necessary activities to bring this lead program until the clinic, so this is approximately for 2 years. Our current priorities are actually to find partners. For instance, we closed one of our partners, a CDMO, to produce our medicine, which is a viral vector, which is a gene therapy vector, and we selected, for instance, Exotera as a partner, and we're currently looking for, as well, a partner for the toxicity and safety studies for this novel medicine. So currently, I would say that the priorities are more on the partner side, but of course, we are kind of bridging our network to additional investors, to corporate investors, which is a big focus, I would say, right now, and we're maturing the relationships so that when the time comes to start raising money, which is not in that time, so it will take maybe, we'll start the active process next year, so that we have the relationship established to make it happen, basically. Yeah, so as you may have understood from my introduction, so it's a very technology-driven company. So the company itself was co-founded by three scientific co-founders. Again, the three, me and the other two, were working actively in the lab, in the academic lab. So very much scientific biomedicine focus. Of course, as the company grew, and we are entering in a more development phase, we needed additional expertise in the team, which is a core, I would say, the core component of the company. And from that, we, of course, expanded on the development side to bring expertise on safety and tox, on the development, which means on the translation of a therapy from the bench to the bedside, side, so from the lab into the clinics, also on business development, which I have it here, which is critical at this stage to really to create these interactions and to create opportunities for when the time comes to really to be able to fundraise. So currently our only and main office, of course, only is in Sweden, in Lund. We are 14 full-time employees, but of course we benefit from a network of different experienced advisors, both on the development side, but also on the financial side and on the business development side. So we believe that this strong interaction between the core team, the full-time employees, and the partners is critical for the company to progress. Yeah, so sure. I mean, it's always good to talk about successes. Right. So I would say that I can mention different ones. So one, I think, is not a one-time success. It's maybe a core value of the company, which is as we are a science-driven, technology-driven company, we really value have high-impact publications supporting our science, and I think that's a key value inflection point actually that we have maintained after the years. So we have so far collected 3 publications in Science Immunology and 1 more recently this year in Science, demonstrating really the proof of concept of the lead program. So having a very well-published science is a very core value and has been very important for us in the past years. I would say also on more on the business development side, closing firstly incorporating the company, of course, that for us personally was very important, but in terms of development was being able to fundraise the seed round, the 6 million seed round, and more recently, especially in the financial climate that 2023, to close the Series A round in the beginning of this year was very challenging and was a product of hard work from our CEO and all the team, Christiane Pires and the team, on making that happen. So I would say that those are also quite big milestones. In terms of technology, besides the publications, is really the product of the investment that we have received so far. So we managed to close the Series A round because during the seed round, we really succeeded on achieving, I think, which was the main milestone of the company. On the one side, to lock the final lead program, the viral vector, the vehicle that we use to deliver our medicine. On the other side, to really demonstrate that it works in vivo in a living organism, in this case in mice. Of course, the next step is human, but that's what we are working for right now. But I would say that these are some of the milestones. I can also mention, for example, from the regulatory perspective, a big milestone as well was the fact that our regulatory path was also approved by a European National Regulatory Agency, which also brings confidence to the program and also was a critical piece to close the Series A. So there's multiple milestones, I think, that we have achieved so far, and of course the aim is to continue pushing hard and making it happen. Yeah, I mean, I think the challenges are really much associated with the core values of the company. So one, the science. Of course, it was challenging for us to find these lead candidates, but we successfully made it. And I think how did we make it? With a strong scientific background that we have. So I think this really values how technology experience is important. On the other side, I would say that another challenge that we make happen was this Series A that I just mentioned. Our CEO has met over 60 different types of funds and VCs in a process that took over 1 year to finally get those 2 lead investors that could end up closing and leading the Series A. So I think that was also a big challenge that for us was very reassuring to achieve. Another challenge, also related to the very core value of the company, is the team recruiting the right talents. And importantly, not only recruiting, but retaining the right talents is a challenge for us. And there's different approaches to that to make the position attractive, but also to make it challenging and to have a team working in a very sexy technology like ours. I think it helps on this process. And these are some things together with the help of recruiters that also help us building the right team for the right moment, which now is development and transition from bench to bedside. I think so far the day has been great. Also very good kind of a place to discuss challenges that other companies, similar or even very different from us in a different field, are facing. Because in the end, you might be working in IT or in biotech, but a lot of the challenges, there's a lot of common ground there, and we can learn from each other. And I think so far, with my limited experience, I think sharing the knowledge, sharing the experiences, the contacts, I think it's one of the main take-home benefits that we'll have at least from this event. I would say expectations. So as I mentioned, so far we are at the moment not actively looking for funding, but we are actually trying to make the connections, and this is a very great place to create new connections, and also to reestablish connections that we had before while we're fundraising, because now we are in a different stage. We can update on the progress, and we can also keep them interested, keep the relationship warm from when the time comes, as I was saying, to reach out and start active fundraising. On the other side, as we are looking for partners, I think this is also a great place to discuss like what CROs, CDMOs, other companies have used, what is their experience, what they recommend. I think that's one of the advantages that we like to have from the program, not only on these CROs, CDMOs, but also on other aspects of business development that for us are critical. For instance, interaction with other stakeholders that are important in the development and in the implementation of advanced medical therapy product like ours. So we are looking forward to discuss what are these stakeholders in Europe, outside Europe eventually as well, and trying to in the end make our case as good as possible for the future. But essentially, networking is something that we really expect from this program. Maturing our business case is something that during the program we expect, and in the future we also expect to collect more money, more funding from the IC grants, and eventually from the IC investment bank. So essentially, these are just some ideas of how our company could benefit from the program and from the participation in it.